Well, Jaclyn, this is so stupid to keep talking about. You just want attention with a clickbait title. Abortion is legal and always will be. So stop wasting your breath on something just for the views. Literally, no one cares about this. Yeah, I think this video calls for some refreshments. Now, I don't really need to go through my personal opinion on this again. I mean, I think I covered it pretty extensively in that first video. You guys know I am very, very pro-choice, and that choice is one that has been stripped from many women because of this decision. Now, I want to go over some of the typical things that I've been hearing from each side that either is flat out incorrect or requires a little bit more clarification. On the right, we have a lot of people saying things like, well, abortion might be banned in certain states, but you can still get abortion. It's not like you can't go somewhere else to get an abortion. I covered the point in my previous video of this overrunning clinics in states that do protect that right, but there could be legislation that happens that penalizes people for doing exactly that, that punishes you legally for traveling to another state to obtain an abortion. And this is so much of a threat that several states right now are putting laws into effect that protect people from that exact thing. I'd also like to say that numerous different politicians on the right have made comments about how they're not done yet, they're only getting started, this is just the beginning, they have so much more work to do, we're gonna just keep taking away those rights, guys, let's just keep taking them away. They're not done, and in my opinion, that means they are going to, at least a lot of these people, push for a nationwide abortion ban. I don't think they're gonna stop until they get it, and I don't think they're gonna stop at abortion. I think a lot of other rights that we all assume are ours will be taken away. I mean, we have gay marriage. A lot of people are saying in vitro fertilization, contraceptive rights. I mean, like they said, this is just the beginning. We don't know what's gonna happen next. And I think it's a pretty scary road ahead, if I'm being honest. And the more I think about it, the more I realize I'm just holding this and I'm not actually drinking it. Much better. I'd also like to point out that a lot of people that are born in a conservative state or live in a conservative state, by the way, I live in Tennessee, so there we go. A lot of people, though, unfortunately are unable to travel, even if they could travel, which I am saying is probably going to be something that's banned. It makes things very difficult for people that are already in a very difficult situation. And I truly don't think that this is over, and I think we do need to fear the possibility of a nationwide ban. All these people are sitting there saying, oh, it's not in the Constitution, so it's not a right, we should leave it up to the states. Well, let's see how long they want to actually leave it up to the states, because at some point, they're not going to want the states to have a right to be pro-life. I just don't think. But that's just me. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. The next thing I hear is that a lot of women are going to die as a result of this. And that's 100% true. That's just a fact. We know that from how abortions were handled prior to Roe versus Wade. Women will get them no matter what. It's just whether or not they will get them safely. What I do want to focus on is ectopic pregnancies. There are lots of people having a conversation around whether or not abortion will be banned in an instance where the mother's life is at risk. That if you have an ectopic pregnancy, which by the way is a pregnancy where the egg fertilizes and grows outside of the uterus, it's extremely dangerous and life-threatening. Most of the time, and this happened to my grandmother twice, it's where the embryo will actually implant in one of the fallopian tubes, at which point part of the tube might need to be actually completely removed. It's extremely common. About 1 in 50 pregnancies are ectopic, which is 2%. So a lot of people are talking about and confused about how this anti-abortion legislation will affect situations like an ectopic pregnancy where the mother's life is at risk. So what we're facing right now with Roe versus Wade being overturned, all of it does carve out situations like ectopic pregnancies. If the mother's life is at risk and she needs emergency care, that is something that will and should happen. The problem is that the language in this legislation is so vague that it's going to cause a lot of confusion for healthcare experts, and they might not make the right decision fast enough, and time is of the essence. And a lot of these things, you have to make a quick decision or the mother's dead. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, that's just what's gonna happen. I will link this article below, but a maternal and child health physician and internal human rights lawyer says the vague and unclear language in anti-abortion bills regarding ectopic pregnancy creates fear, stigma, confusion, and added expenses, all of which increase barriers to care. This decision has a pretty immediate effect because of the trigger laws in several states. I talked about this a lot in my last video. Again, I'll link it below. But currently those laws do not prohibit the removal of an ectopic pregnancy. But the vague language regarding what is and isn't legal could confuse healthcare professionals and cause them to delay care out of fear of being prosecuted. Another possible complication is that these people, these lawmakers, have just no base knowledge in science to understand what constitutes a pregnancy and how dangerous certain situations like this can be. They just don't understand the physiology or any of the science behind it, and then they make really dumbass comments like this. Louisiana lawmakers recently revised a bill changing the legal definition of a person from a fertilized egg that has been implanted in the womb to just a fertilized egg, which, there we go, here's a huge element of confusion with ectopic pregnancies, because that's a fertilized egg. I mean, if that's a person, problem, we got a problem. Some state legislators have questioned why there should be exceptions for ectopic pregnancies. I don't know, maybe because it's not viable and could kill the mother? Are we pro-life or not? And here's where it gets really ridiculous. Others have previously tried to include provisions requiring doctors to move an ectopic pregnancy from the fallopian tubes to the uterus, a procedure that is medically impossible. I feel like if you're writing laws like this, you should have some idea of how the body works. Just some. Like, it's not viable. How is this even being discussed? During a state Senate debate regarding an anti-abortion bill in Oklahoma, a senator asked why there should be exceptions for ectopic pregnancies. I mean, does the mother really need to survive? The language is so broad it may even criminalize in vitro fertilization, IUDs, and some forms of emergency contraception. To me, just the level of ignorance and misinformation about the basic biological processes that pregnancy involves, the lack of knowledge of just the very, very bare minimum of things is so scary when you combine them with people saying, we're not done, we're only just getting started, we have so much more to do. Like, I'm terrified. And you can naysay it all day. I know I'm gonna get a lot of people pissed off in the comments at me making this video and say, oh, you can still get abortions. To me, that's not a guarantee for very long at all. It might be difficult, impossible, or illegal for some people to do that. And then when there are cases where the mother's life is at risk, which sometimes are immediate medical emergencies, if they're not handled quickly because the staff doesn't know whether or not they're gonna get sued, like, you die. That's it, you die. I really don't want to get into my own opinions on abortion. I've made that very clear before, so I'm not gonna do that in this video. I just wanted to focus on those things. I'm not surprised that this happened, but I am so incredibly disappointed and disgusted. So I've talked about this obviously for years on my channel. The comment I read at the beginning was like 7 years old. I've been doing this for a long time, and it's just sad to hope so much for progress and make these videos on things I'm passionate about, only for, me to still be doing it 7 years down the line and us to have fallen so far back in our progress. It's really discouraging and pretty depressing. But I hope you guys are well. I would love to hear all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video, share it, let's get this conversation going, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully it's fun. I'll try to do a lighthearted one because lately everything has just been total shit. So I'll see you guys. Try to have a good day. All right, bye.